Welcome back. You're watching the UTI Swatantra series powered by ET Now. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to try and get to another question as quickly as possible. The gentleman in the front, go ahead.
Hello, I'm in HR profession. I just wanted to know what is the employer's role and responsibility in introducing this NPS for their employees. Yeah. Second, I have come across with some retired employees. They had faced a lot of difficulties in getting withdrawals. They were running pillar to post to get their pensions to start, NPS pension. Can you throw some light on this?
No, NPS as of now, that annuity business has not started. So in NPS there is no problem as far as, because retirement age has not come into picture. It started just in 2008 for government employees and 2009 for other citizens, right? So that part as of now, it has not been, we have not come across as far as retirement is concerned, right? We are only under contribution stage as of now. Any person who has contributed for 3 to 4 years, for getting a monthly pension, minimum retirement corpus needs to be 2 lakhs, right? So I think your investors might be in that category where the retirement corpus has not reached that level. That is why annuity will not come into picture, right, sir? That is what I presume. Because any person who is contributing for long, definitely the retirement corpus will be far ahead of that minimum limit. What was your other part?
How can an employer start NPS for his employees?
Employer as of now, right, has got basically 3 choices. For the employees whose basic salary is up to 15,000, they have to compulsorily go for EPF. That was as of 31st March 2015. Now, for the employees who are drawing a salary of more than 15,000 per month basic, that employer has got 2 choices, either to opt for EPF or to create its own PF trust and manage it in-house.
The new now that the NPS is the third option?
The third option, as of now, the employees can switch from EPF to NPS. The fresh employees who are joining, they have a choice either to go for NPS or for EPF, right? Now, which is better, whether EPF or NPS, right? It is the employee choice. I think informed investor will most likely opt for NPS.
We're going to take another question from the gentleman in the front.
I have not really thought of retirement.
Correct.
You know, how to change that mindset, because that is the mindset in me. And to tell you the fact is that even I have taken some property here and there, and now after hearing you, you know, it seems that I have not really done much. So how to change that perception and, you know?
Well, changing of perception is quite a task, but I'll give you a simple thing today. The formula today is income minus expenses is savings. Savings becomes a balancing figure, right? So I reward the credit card companies, I reward the malls, I reward all the people, and then I reward myself. It has to change. So the change has to be income minus savings has to become expenses. First reward yourself, right? Now, is it easier said than done? Well, it is not so easy. The reason it will be easy is when I know how much am I supposed to invest and for what I'm investing. That makes the entire thing very, very clear. So those 4 steps which we mentioned, even if you go by that, automatically I'm quite confident there will be a major perceptual shift in terms of what you're supposed to look at and prioritize this goal.
Just in continuation with what he's saying, what should be the ideal mix then in terms of asset allocation?
Okay.
Because you have insurance also, you have mutual fund, which are also in the same category, then there is real estate, you know, so what should be the ideal mix?
Okay, the ideal mix will come across when you actually put down when you require the money. So that is where when we look at your short-term goals and your long-term. When I look at a short-term, I minimum look at a 5 years or maybe a more than that. So then you will understand from a perspective how much goes to debt, how much goes to equity. You can obviously take services of a financial planner or an advisor who will sit and actually tell you the pros and cons of all of them, and then your portfolio is formed. So in this room, if we have about so many people, each and every person would have a different allocation. So there is no homogeneity here. It is something which is very customized.
All right, I have time for one last question. Go ahead.
You know, the question I'm asking is, you know, we have a lot of instruments of investments today, you know, when it comes to wealth creation or retirement planning. But how do we, you know, is there a way to find out the right mix of the investments of instrument to achieve our goals?
If I want to talk about retirement planning, what I suggest to a general investor is, if you are opting for any product, right, 50% of your investment should go to equities till you are at 50 years of age, and rest in either corporate bonds or government security, whichever way you like. Taking your retirement age as 60, what I want to say is start acting on your portfolio right from the age of 50. From 50 to 55, get your asset allocation of equity dragged down to 20%. Rest 80% should be in government securities and corporate bonds.
We've run out of time on this show. Thank you, audience, for coming in. And gentlemen, thank you so much for spending time with us. Remember, if you'd like to get in touch with us, there is a website on which you can reach us, and you can tweet out #InvestKaro. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Brought to you by UTI Mutual Fund. हक एक बेहतर जिंदगी का.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all the scheme-related documents carefully.
Welcome back. You're watching the UTI Swatantra series powered by ET Now. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're talking about planning for your retirement on the show. Like I said, if you have questions, tweet them out, #InvestKaro. We have a lot of questions in the audience that we'd like to work through. The gentleman in the front, go ahead.
Yeah.
My question is, like, I want to plan for retirement, okay, for a high amount of corpus. Like, there are in market a lot of products are there. So how to choose about what are the basic guidelines which I should look for that before I go for that particular mutual fund or that options?
Give us a clear checklist.
Right. The first thing which you need to do is, as I always say, even before you actually look out for products, products is a very secondary thing. First and foremost thing is, let's be clear on what we are looking for. So the first checklist is, if you want to be getting into retirement planning, first do a complete analysis of your income and expenses. So I keep saying this, so we look at CPI inflation, WPI inflation, note down your expenses and see what inflation is actually affecting you. So you might be having an X amount of lifestyle which is probably giving you far more, the inflation is far more than that. So first look at your incomes and expenses. Second point, get into the analysis of your assets and liabilities. Or more often than not, we see sometimes investors, they invest in too many products, because many times investment planning which is supposed to be planned becomes very sporadic. Right? And so you invest in too many products, and when we ask them what exactly have you invested in, they say we have invested this and we are going to get something like this. Right? So get hold of those things, your assets and liabilities. Once these two things are clear, then you go ahead and see what am I looking for from a retirement planning. Do I plan to stay in the place where I plan to stay? Do I plan to relocate after that? We have had cases where people have come and said that entire lifetime we have been working, so after my retirement I need to tour, I want to go on more tours, I probably want to look at these things. So your lifestyle is going to actually increase. So once you go that, then the third thing is, what exactly are the goals or what exactly are the milestones you're looking for. Once this is clear, then looking at your current risk profiling, looking at all the other incomes and outflows which you have, then start getting into the products. So the products have to be the fourth. When you do the first three steps to answer your question, the fourth clarity automatically starts coming. The problem happens is, even before I've gone to the first step, I try to go to the fourth step. So I look at a product which probably looks good, might probably not suit me.
And the other thing, of course, to keep in mind is time. If you start at 50, we should be starting at 30. There's a massive difference in the way you can approach it. So it's literally like, whether or not you start cooking your dinner at 9:30 or you start planning for it at about 6 o'clock in the evening, so you can actually get everything ready on time. I want to take another question. Go ahead.
I want to know, like, when I'm going to retire at, let us say, at the age of 60, and I'm earning, let us say, some 2 lakh rupees per month. So how should I look like my assets at the age of 60 so that I can continue the life what I am enjoying today?
What you're saying is that you will retire with a lump sum. So all of these pension products that you are investing in now will finally pay out, and then you want to start a fresh asset allocation?
No. Whenever it comes to the investment, for me, as I'm not a financial guy, means I don't have a financial background, it's a property. So where I'm invest. So I'm very new. Whatever I've invest, like for my son also the 10 years back, for the education or for his education, now I'm finding out which is nothing.
True.
So how to plan now? I'm let us say if I'm at I have another 15 or 16, 17 years to work. So how should I plan my? And I should be comfortably when I retire. I should have a comfortable life.
Actually,
and what should be the amount?
This is one of the risks that we face as Indians. Our love for these two physical assets. One is real estate and the other one is gold. And it leaves a lot of us very disappointed. Ram, you want to take him through why real estate and gold are not the ideal assets for these, these particular goals?
As far as real estates are concerned, liquidity is one of the biggest, issue in real estates, right? Gold, historically, between 2009 to 2013, it may, you may have realized that gold has given a very good returns. But if we talk about 30 to 50 years or 30 to 45 years, historically, gold has never beaten the inflation, right? And to say the least, the returns have been ranging between 4.5 to 5%, right? So gold as an asset class for investment, it may be in my last, you can say option, or in fact, it will not be in my list of options category, right? Real estates, I am not sure with, right? Because other than, number one, you would be needing a very huge sum for investment. Number two, there won't be any liquidity. The moment you are struck, right, nobody will come to your rescue, right? So I do not know. As for retirement planning, I do not think these two, real estate is any solution. If you can further highlight.
Yeah.
Sure. See, in terms of gold, one simple reality check is please go home, talk to your wife and say equity markets seem to be doing well. Which ornament can we melt and put it there? You'll get a reality check as to the fact that you can't even talk about these things, right? So the fact remains is because it's a huge emotional connect and it's a dead asset. It goes back to where it is. That is the case. In terms of real estate, there are 2-3 problems, okay? Of course, people have got their appreciations, I'm not denying it. First and foremost, it is the timing of the real estate. So if you see from a 20-30 year perspective, one particular property after a point of time just goes and stagnates in terms of the returns, right? Second thing, yes, liquidity is a problem. Third is, there is a big problem if you mark it to something like a retirement or you mark it to something. So people even have real estates marked to children's education. Now when you sell it, okay, what happens is sometimes the requirement in an education goal or something like that is far lesser than the value of the property. Then you will end up paying the requisite taxations and then you will probably do it at a sale. Certain things which we have seen in person, people always come and say it has appreciated to this much. Itna value hai aaj ke tarikh mein. The reality check is when the sale actually happens, right? Sometimes it takes so much time to sell a particular property that it's an absolutely an illiquid asset to look at it. So from a retirement perspective and from, we would suggest that what you require after retirement could also be where there is some kind of a smaller withdrawal possibility and it is liquid available to you, where real estate doesn't stand a chance. Right?
So when you're looking at real estate, you have to consider all of the charges, stamp duty, registration,
Absolutely.
property tax, maintenance. There's a lot of money that goes into maintaining a real estate property until the next sale, and even on that sale there's stamp duty and registration and everything against. So once you net all of that amount, only then will you get a clear view of how much return you've made on real estate. I'm required to take another break, but we're going to come back very quickly and answer more questions from our audience. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to the UTI Swatantra series powered by ET Now. I'm Faye D'Souza. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, before we go any further, this is one of India's largest investor education initiatives where we're going to try and help you understand how to invest your money, how to use all of the products available in the market to build a perfect portfolio. If you have a question, you can always tweet out that question, #InvestKaro, or you can find us on our website, indiainvestkaro.com. A copy of this show will be available on that website. You can leave us a question, or you can send in your name and number and be part of the studio audience the next time we roll a show. Let's get straight to it. This week, we're talking about planning for your retirement, and we have a wonderful audience of young people in their 30s and their 40s who are planning their retirement, who have a lot of questions for us. I also have two gentlemen here who are going to answer those questions. Mukund Sheshadri is Senior Partner, MS Ventures Financial Planners. And Balram Bhagat is CEO and whole-time Director at UTI Retirement Solutions. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Balram, I'm going to start with you because I know that you have the possessions of the facts and the NPS right now. And in terms of retirement solutions, it's become very interesting because of that added tax deduction. Now, I know one of the worst things you can do to your retirement plan is to choose your product based on a tax benefit. You should not be doing that. But nevertheless, let's talk about the NPS. While there is a 50,000 rupee tax deduction, there are a lot of investors who are a little disappointed in the long term by the way the government is treating it. It's EET, I have to pay tax at the end of it, I have to buy an annuity. It doesn't seem as efficient as it could ideally be. Why is that?
Yeah, let me tell you first that NPS as a retirement plan, there is no substitute as of now in whole Indian financial industry. This is the best retirement plan which one can save into with its unique features. Features basically which you would like to harper upon beyond the tax rebate is number one, it's one of the lowest cost product in the industry. In fact, it is lowest cost pension product in the whole world. Right. Second thing is the portability. Portability means you can choose the pension fund manager on your own and change it after choosing. It's not like that you are stuck with some pension fund manager who is not performing well. So you can change the pension fund manager without incurring any exit load, right? And that is available to you once a year. Third thing is, irrespective of demography, wherever you are, right, or whoever is your employer, right, it doesn't make any difference. Once a permanent retirement account number is allotted to you, it remains with you all your life, right? The best part is this pension fund product is a unique in a sense that you can change your asset allocation as you, grow older or as you deem fit, right? There is no product in the financial industry which can say that you can change your asset allocation as and when you like, and that is once in a year, right? So these three are the unique features. In addition to these, that 80cc D1B, that is a additional bonanza which government has given to you, and this 80cc D1B is not applicable to any other financial plan. It is only NPS, in which if you save 50,000 rupees, that additional tax benefit in addition to 80C limit you will be getting from the year 2014-15 financial year.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate because that's my job. There was a great list of pros for the NPS, all of which are true. Let me list out what I believe are the disadvantages. One is that the equity allocation can be a maximum of 50%, can never be more than that, which is conservative. The manner in which you're allowed to manage that equity is also conservative. The fact that at the end, when I finally do retire at 60, I have to compulsorily buy an annuity. I have to pay tax on a portion of that money as an income, which is not that's not something that will happen to an equity mutual fund, nor will it happen to a PPF. For me, this list was as strong in terms of cons. You wanted to add something
something very similar. So definitely NPS is a very good thing which has started off for the general investors. But what we actually recommend is when a person is in his 30s and 35 and 40, he still has about 15, 20, 25 years more to go towards his retirement. So I think if the one crucial part is, I understand they are less on charges and you have tax benefit and all those things, but if you are able to get 100% equity allocation, it will make a substantial amount of difference. That is point number one. Point number two is also the fact that yes, we work from the EET regime. So end of the day, more than a tax exemption or a tax benefit, you will end up paying that at a future date. So from people's perspective also, if there is an option, where means of which if I compare, it cannot be compared with anything, but if I pick up a normal mutual fund and I probably invest in that over a period of time, and then I go through a SWP route or a systematic withdrawal plan route, where you can give intimation to the mutual fund house to ensure that there is some amount of money which is there. Looking at the 50% debt allocation in the perspective, probably that corpus could be of a substantial amount. But I'm not saying no to NPS. Of course, it's a very good. It's at least the start has been made, and going ahead, probably all these things.
Is it fair? And I'm just asking, is it fair? Because there are a lot of people comparing it to everything.
Yeah, right.
What should we compare it to?
Let me answer to these points one by one.
Right.
Number one, the taxation aspect which is being talked about, that at the end of maturity, it will be taxed. Right. The NPS or you can say income tax rule says whatever amount of retirement corpus is generated at the age of 60, right? Some part you will annuitize. Annuitize means you will buy an annuity. And some part will be available for you to withdraw. Whatever amount you buy annuity, that is totally tax free. For example, your retirement corpus at the age of 60 is 1 crore, right? And I am annuitizing 80 lakh. So 80 lakh is totally tax free. Only the amount which is being withdrawn as lump sum, that will be taxable as per my marginal rate of tax. But PFRD has given you 10 years period, right, to withdraw in a phased manner, right? So use NPS only for retirement planning. First decide your amount to be annuitized and do the back calculation with some amount of assumption, 8% rate, 9% growth, 10% growth, and accordingly you make your plan. Number two, at the time you retire at 60, right, what is your basic purpose? Basic purpose is monthly pension. So whatever way you use, everybody wants security. The moment annuity comes into picture, security comes along with it, because at the time of annuity, your monthly income is fixed for your lifespan. There are various types of annuities available in the market.
Right. So I want to open the floor to questions. Does the lady in the front have a question? Go ahead.
Are women averse to financial planning, or is it too a technical subject for them? And what is the right age, for women to start investing from a retirement perspective?
From all the research reports or whatever it is, whatever data are available to us, the average, lifespan of women is far more than average lifespan of a man. So retirement planning is more important for women class, right? Because they are going to live longer, right? So there is no suitable time for planning for retirement. The earlier, the better.
We have seen women managing money far better than men. Now I'll tell you the reason, okay? Just take it right from the start. Our own parents, grandmothers, somebody, they manage the house in that income, right? Managing a house sometimes is far more difficult than even being in a corporate world, right? So they knew this much money is there. They used to save. They used to apportion expenses. All those things which you see today in a financial plan and all that has already been done. More than one more thing is emotional quotients are very high. So today, when we discuss with a couple most of the time, later on we are seeing that when you do a review of the portfolio or something, is where the women are actually taking a far, higher interest in the same thing, and they turn out to be really good. So it is definitely a crucial aspect for both of them. So I agree with this.
It's time for us to take a very quick break on the show, but we are encouraging all women who are watching right now to take control of your finances, plan your husband's finances as well. Show him how it's done. Write to us if you need help. The email ID is on your screen. Come back after the break.